Part 4. So now the issue is the vehicles. He's like, I'm not gonna, keep paying on the car. And I'm like, okay, then take me to court. Take me to court. Because also, I have said several times, you want a divorce, file for divorce. File for divorce. And he won't do it. He absolutely refuses to do it. Girlfriend, if you eventually see this, he's refused to file for divorce. So, February, those first couple weeks, I remember thinking, I'm so lucky that the only thing that he took from me was his paycheck. Because when I look around, my life hasn't changed at all. Like him, I was already doing everything, right? Him not being here has changed literally nothing. So I remember thinking and feeling a peaceful couple of weeks. I was dumb. It was not going to be that smooth. But I remember thinking after the entire year, and we'll go into that later, but the entire year of me, we've come to this spot. He's finally gone, right? This is all you've wanted. He's gone. Enjoy it. And I remember literally dancing in my bathroom and being like, you're so lucky. The only thing he took from me was a paycheck, because, I thought I was just going to be heartbroken. And, of course, along the way, I have found out horrible, despicable things that my husband is and has done. But I'm really lucky, I think. So I enjoyed those first couple of weeks. I want to say mid-February, we're going back and forth about the vehicles. And he's like, the car payment's due. I'm like, I don't care when the car payment's due. Pay the car payment. I don't care when the car payment's due. You strapped me with all the bills over here. The least you can do is pay the car payment. If you don't want to do that, cool. Take me to court. So I'm like, I told you that once I got this figured out, I would switch you, right? So he keeps nagging me about it. So finally, at the end of February, maybe the beginning of March, I say, fine, just switch me. That's fine. I'm sick to death of arguing with you about the car. Switch me. Oh, I'm sorry, because also he says, I need the newer car. Husband needs the newer car because he's having to commute from Washington to the town that we live in to go to work, which is not true. Even if it were, but it isn't true. But he's still keeping on with that lie that he's living in Washington. So, I'm like, forget it. That's like, now you're disturbing my peace. I know what this peace feels like now. I've had it. You're gone. The last thing in the world that I want to do is be going back and forth with you about this car. So fine, switch me back. Well, why do you want to switch back? Why do you want this car all of a sudden? I don't want it. Are you kidding? I don't want it. You've been like, for 2 months, you've been like, I want the car you have. And now I'm saying, fine, okay, well, why do you want it now? Just to be oppositional. Just because he's literally that immature. Just to be oppositional. So he says something like, I'm going to change the oil in it this weekend or something, and then I'll give it back to you. Or, then we'll switch. And I say, yeah, no, I'll get the oil change in it myself. Because I don't know that he's not going to, God knows what he's going to do, honestly. Because again, I found out a bunch of things. We'll get to that later. But I'm like, I don't trust you as far as I would throw a cat. Just give me the car, right? Let's just switch back. Then he goes back to silence. So, April. I have said several times. I'm sorry. Sorry. So he tells me late March, hey, the car that I have is basically non-drivable. I can give you the number of the shop where it is, but basically it's going to cost thousands of dollars to fix. Now, mind you, I have in text messages him telling me that nothing like this would happen. I was exaggerating and being dramatic, that the car was absolutely fine. the boys and I were going to be completely safe in this car. You're exaggerating, the car is completely fine. And now all of a sudden it's blown up on him and it's going to cost thousands of dollars to fix. So he'll give me the number to the shop. But in the meantime, he's going to need to figure out a way to come and get the car that I have. So now you want to literally take the only working vehicle. What I don't know at the time is that he's purchased 2 other vehicles for him and girlfriend. So he doesn't need to take this car from me. He's not walking back and forth to work. So I'm like, yeah, no. Now, I have a plan. Because now I have to not only make sure, because my idea was the car that he's going to give me, I want the boys to be able to drive it around the town that we live in, but not very far, right? Just a little, like something to get them to and from in the town. And then I need a car that's like road worthy. So in my mind, I'm looking for just one car. Now he's telling me this car's blown to bits, right? You can't drive it. So I'm like, now I need 2 cars. I need one car for the kids to be able to drive and one car for me. So now I need to be shopping for 2 cars. Now I have a plan for that. So I once again communicate, it's going to take me a minute. I have a plan, but it's going to take me a minute. He's telling me that he's just working himself into the ground, honey, to cover this extra $400 car payment because his ex, has nothing else. And she's just holding this car for ransom. Like I don't need to be getting back and forth to work. And as if the kids don't need to be getting back and forth to work. I'm just keeping it to spite him. So he decides in April that he's done. The timeline that I've had enough time to figure this out in his mind. So what does he do but sneak over here and steal the license plates off of the only vehicle that we have to drive? Now, why did he do that? Because you would think it would be as simple as just going to get new plates. It's not as simple as just going to get new plates. They have to be... Now, if we went down there together, right, to the DMV together, the outcome might have been different, but of course he was never going to do that. When I get online to file to get new plates, I'm waiting 90 days for them to come through the mail. So what I risk every single time that I get in that car, or my sons get in that car to drive it to work, is being pulled over and having the car impounded. So I report the plates stolen. They tell me that I have to get my husband's permission, basically, to report them stolen. He tells the officer that he knows nothing about it, which is not true, because I've already called him and flipped out and said, I know you did this, because he did it. He knows nothing about it. He will help me facilitate getting new plates, but he's not going to pay for it. Go to part 5.